Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nate's Garage and Bakery. And welcome to the first of 3 videos on this here Cut50 eBay plasma cutter. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit into some welding and some plasma cutting as a hobby. A little different from the 3D printer stuff I've posted so far. What I'm going to do here is post 3 videos, and first will be this unboxing video, so skip it if you don't care what's in the box, but there might be some helpful things in here, so, proceed at your own risk. I'll make a video on connecting and using it also, because it does not come with an electrical plug, you'll find out here. And I'll make another video also on how much hacking I've had to do to get it reasonable. It'll work out of the box, but I've done a little hacking on it, and in the process I've opened it up, and I'll show you what's all in there. Now, here's a little disclaimer before I move on here. I am a welding and plasma cutting noob. I have not taken classes. I'm not an expert. I am not a professional welder. And that is exactly the reason I have this here $230 Cut50 Super China Special straight off of eBay on the table here in front of you that any of the red, white, and blue guys would revolt at in disgust. There's nothing wrong with the red, white, and blue, but I do not need a $1,500 Hypertherm or any of the likes to do my bidding for me. So that's how it is. Without further ado, here we go. Look what came in the mail. That's right. The important part of this is the Cut50 right here. Cut50. That is an eBay plasma cutter that I'm going to unbox here now for the whole world to see. Now, it was strapped together. I have had this open because I needed to check to see a couple of things, which I'll get to. But we've got the box here, and yes, it's a little damaged on one side here, but it turns out it didn't do anything to the internals. So, what all's in this dude? Well, let's see. First of all, we got us a little air regulator / dryer in here, because apparently the enemy of plasma cutting is the water. What we got here is an air regulator without a meter on it, because this is one of the models that has a meter on the front panel. So you'll run a hose up there. We'll get to that part. So we've got the air regulator that you pop up the button on here and you adjust it. And then it also acts as a dryer that you can drain out at some point, like so, I suppose. Anyway, so that keeps the moisture out of your air supply. And you've got some fittings in here for quick disconnects, and you've got the bracket there to mount the thing on the back of the unit and everything like that. So that's what that little box contains there. What else we got? We got here is, first of all, some air line to hook up your air regulator to both your compressor that you should already have, as well as the meter that's internal to here. That's what that's for, is air line. We've got our ground clamp, or rather, actually our positive clamp, our workpiece clamp. Kind of cheapo little dude here, but it's got the DINS 25, I understand is what that is a DINS 25 connector. I guess it's fairly standard. Okay, but yeah, whatever. Looks like a cheap pair of jumper cables. What else is in here? Well, check this out. Nice blue bag full of goodies here. And by the way, this is where this particular box was damaged. It was right up in here to where that was packaged. So not too much to worry about on this one, whether that was due to FedEx, who was the one who shipped this one, or what. This one actually came from New Jersey. It was in stock in New Jersey, so anyway. But in here you're going to get your plasma torch. That's right. Got your plasma torch right there for what and cutting and stuff, and the thing there. It's got your connection here for the air / electrometricity, and for the switch my duty right there. Also in this little package here, you're going to get the stuff that they give you as far as consumables. You've got a couple extra cups and swirl rings and junk nozzles in here, as well as hose clamps for the air connection. And this thing right here is actually to go over this like so, so it's easy to get on and off of the unit. That's what that little black piece is there for. Handy. That's all for the little stuff. That leaves the big stuff. So let's go. Get that crap out of there. Get. Who cares? Look at this cute little thing. Cute little 50 amp plasma cutter. Check this out. And then this is one of my favorite parts of anything that comes from the great land of China, is the user manual in full Chinglish. I have read through this a little bit, and there are some gems in here, including, or in this case not including, exactly how to hook the power up. Good thing I sort of know what I'm doing. So here we have the Cut50, and there's several different models, versions of this thing on eBay and elsewhere. But I got this one because it had the doodah-mahicke on the front there. I guess I kind of wanted the doodah-mahicke on the front, as well as the power switch on the front. There's a lot of models that have the doodah-mahicke will mount to the back here with a gauge on the back, which is fine, but then also the power switch is back here, which, I don't know, I just kind of like having the switch on the front. Anyway, let's get into this thing. Look at that nice yellow thingamabobber. Yeah, baby. Check it. Slick. We got a knob. So yeah, on the front panel here, you've got a couple of protective things. What, for the air thingy, so that the threads don't get chowdered. And then you got your connection for the torch switch there, and then also here's your DINS 25 connector for the positive, or the work clamp, because that's how a plasma cutter works. The actual torch is negative. You make your work positive. In the back here, you'll get a little sticker here that more or less tells you what kind of power this thing is going to draw off of either your 125 or 120 or 115 or 110 or whatever that you get out of your wall socket, or your 220/240 that you get out of your dryer socket, or whatever you're going to hook this up to. So it is dual voltage capable. What this does here is it tells you, let's see, what does it tell us? 110 volts plus or minus 10%. So that basically covers 120 volts. It's going to pull 32 amps maximum, like inrush, maybe, like when you first start to cut or something. 32 amps. That is one hell of a lot to come out of a wall socket. Just for reference, even the heavy duty 120 volt plugs are rated for 20 amps, not 32 freaking amps. And then over here it says the effective current is going to be 24 amps, which is still 4 amps over what your standard industrial 120 plug is going to give you. And this is why I'm hooking it up to 240. So here we got the, if you're hooking up to 220 plus or minus 10%, which is enough to cover the 240, IMAX is going to be 22 amps. More voltage, less amperage. That's how it works. And then your effective amperage, 17 amps, whatever that means, maybe when it's, I have no idea anyway. Now the user manual here, not real user helpful. It's got a lot of stuff in here. that, well, it could be helpful in some ways, but it does not include a wiring diagram for how to power this thing up to either a 120 or a 240 outlet. Good thing I'm smart. What it does have is plenty of Chinglish in here, if you will. Thanks for purchasing our products and hope for your precious advice. We will be dedicated to produce the best products and offer the best service. Caution! The machine is mainly used in industry. It will produce radio wave, so the worker should make fully preparation for protection. Caution! Creepage protecting switch should be added when you are using the machine. I have no idea what creepage protecting switch. Maybe I'll have to Google that. You do have a 60% duty cycle on this, and the duty cycle on any given welder or plasma cutter is going to be in a 10-minute period of time. How much of that time can you be actually welding or cutting in this case? 60% of 10 minutes is 6 minutes. So out of every 10-minute period, you can be using this for 6 minutes, which is plenty for what I'm going to be using it for. This isn't really that helpful in a lot of ways. Questions is be run into during welding. So there you go. There's the well, somewhat informative manual, but not informative enough to give you details on how you power the sucker up. It does say right here AC input 110/220, which means it's good for either one or the other. And since it's plus or minus 10%, 10% of 220 is 22 volts. 220 plus 22 is 242, so 240 is within that range. Actually, it's within 15%, so 10%. If it's within 10%, it's within 15%. The cord they give you has got the standard European wiring colors on them, which most of the time, brown is hot or line power, blue is neutral, or in this case it's going to be the other line power, and then you got your green with the yellow stripe here, which is your earth ground. And then back here you're going to see a couple connections for gas, for one. It actually has a little screen in there to filter out the birds and the bees and the stuff that comes through your airline. But by gas they mean air, compressed air. You've got another air fitting up here, which is actually just a nozzle that goes from here up to your whatever you call this circular thing up here that tells you what the air pressure is. And then you've got a mounting bracket back here and that screw's got a little bit of rust on it already, straight out the box. Yeah, and then you got a grounding thingy back here for good measure. There it is, people, the Cut50 with the ground clamp and your plasma torch, little package of consumables, this pretty ass bag that you'll never use for anything else, a little bit of air hose, and you've got your air regulator slash water dryer outer thingamadobob. Notice, you do not get an electrical plug with this. You will need to get an electrical plug if you are going to plug this in to the wall in such a fashion that you don't just take bare wires and stick them into the outlet one at a time. Not recommended. Oh yeah, it's another one of the books here at Nate's Garage and Bakery. It kinda makes me wanna rap. Yo, that'll be all for this episode. Please subscribe and thumbs up the video unless you don't like my web content. In either case, please feel free to comment. Word to your mother.